What's up, Team Absolution fans? That's right, the tie is back. Today, we got something a little special for you. A little bit of a long intro here. So here at Team Absolution, we like to do what's best for the community. We always think about the community and how we do our videos. We want to make sure you guys are heard, that you guys' opinions are being expressed. And usually most of that anger, these rants are directed at Bushiroad. What they did wrong, what their staff does wrong, what their judges do wrong, how their programs that interact with those judges do wrong,
what their cards do wrong,
what their apology letters mean so little to us, but that doesn't mean that the community is exempt from our anger. And so today, we welcome you to the first ever Team Absolution Community Roast.
We're putting you on blast.
Stick around. Hello, we're back.
We are in fact back.
So, Vanguardians, you guys have been pretty active recently. Got some good discussions. Got some
mostly good discussion. And good trades themselves.
Got some mostly good discussions. No, nothing against the group, but considering you are the main North America Cardfight Vanguard group, we get to see a lot of the dark underbelly of what you do far more often than we might from other groups who are not as popular and we are maybe not members of.
The big fat orca whale on
You
the sand beach
let us pick off a couple of those barnacles, shall we? So this week, we had an interesting topic on someone specifically. Of course, we're not going to name any names.
We would never do
I'm
that.
not going to show you any screenshots.
Of course, we're not going to do that. We're not even going to link into the discussion.
Not even
probably
close.
gone by now.
But man just wanted some sleeves, all right? That was his argument. Man just wanted some sleeves. However, these sleeves were of a, shall we say, suggestive nature, to put it mildly.
It wasn't safe. One of the reasons we also use Stream Scout is one, the image is not safe for work, or school, or home,
your mother, your girlfriend, your boss, your teacher, anybody sees you looking at that and they say, "What is wrong
your
with you?"
friend, maybe?
Keep in mind that we're human beings and we live on a planet that is not cray. Some of you need to be woke up. Time to get woke, boys. This ain't cray.
We don't live on cray. Cray doesn't exist. It doesn't. I'm sorry. Santa doesn't exist.
Amount of new
planets, the Easter Bunny.
No amount of new planets are going to make Blaster Blade come to life. I'm going to tell you that right now.
This is true.
But that's not the point. So, we've talked about this before. When you sit down at a table across from me and you show me something lewd, I'm going to think less of you as a person, but it is your choice. What I'm not going to have you do, and of course we are running tournaments.
We do run tournaments.
We do run tournaments, we do run events. We have standards. If you tell me I play on Miss Naked Booby Mat because it distracts my opponent, you, alright for starters, but it is your choice. I will give you that. But at least they're of an adult nature about adults. Now, what I'm not going to have you do is...
You're not going to touch that stuff on our stream, though.
We're not going to touch that stuff on our stream.
You're not going to, like, stream that stuff.
That's not going to happen. You're not going to see me play on Miss Booby Mat.
Nope.
I'm not trying to distract this guy. I'm trying to have a good, clean game experience, then beat him in with whatever deck I'm playing. And that's what
I mean, like, we would never let players use those mats on.
Oh, yeah. No, forget it. Not even close. The fact that you have to understand is, card games are, for the most part, a social experience.
Right. They are a social experience.
And while psychology does play into that, playing on something lewd, keep in mind you are in public in a game that is typically catered to and advertised to children. Whether or not it should be is beside the point. We talked about that extensively.
The point is it is.
But if you're going to get matched up against an 8-year-old with his mother over her shoulder, what is she going to think of not only you, but the community as a whole? You are a toxin on what this community is supposed to maybe look like and what it could be. But you have only dragged it down because you think you can't be any better.
And go ahead.
And if you're playing card games on a lewd mat, clearly your hands have better things to do than play card games against me. Alright? But that's not what the discussion's about. That's the general thing. Jose, go.
Also, and this goes on to what we're about to talk about, which is the sleeves. The sleeves follow the same general principle, right?
As the mats.
One, you're spending a lot of money on these sleeves with these very lewd arts, which is, okay, one step, but we're going to take it to the further stage here. Because lewd things is one thing. Okay, whatever floats your boat, if that's what you need. I think it's unnecessary, and I'm about to go into that. Why? Explain to me why. Because you find it attractive. Why do you need to see something that attracts you when you're playing a card game?
Why are you trying to be aroused while you're playing a card game? Now, don't get me wrong.
Maybe it exists. Maybe there's a chess piece where all the pieces are naked women, but I've never seen it.
I don't need that chess set in my life. All right?
I'm just trying to enjoy a good game.
Now, don't get me wrong.
We're not white knighting here.
We like our anime women as much as the next guy. All right? We see big set of anime titties come across the screen of our TV at our own personal home. We think, okay, whatever. All right. That's anybody. That could be anybody, but that is in fact in the privacy of my own home. I don't go out in public carrying a document or a pillow. I hope that's the right thing. There's so many, that is. It's a document. All right. No, I've got it. I was thinking like, all right, what's the onesie called? That's something else. I'm pretty sure I got that right. Anyway, you're not going to see me carrying around an anime pillow with me wherever I go, because that shit ain't right.
That shit ain't right.
All right? I attempt to be an upstanding citizen in the family environment that is card games and card shops in general. And while I can be whatever kind of deplorable, whatever kind of person I want to be in the privacy of my own home, you are coming out in public with this garbage. If you're telling me that you would not, in fact, carry around a naked anime girl pillow with you wherever you went, you're telling me that mats and card sleeves in a card-playing environment is any more acceptable? And don't try and give me that psychology crap. It's not going to fly. But it gets even worse when we talk about this case in particular. Man wanted card sleeves of a rather suggestive and not safe for work thing that looked like a child. Now, anime likes to try and get away with this trope at all times.
It literally lives on getting away with this trope.
That is how it works. And now the fact that you're trying to tell me, but canonically she's a 700-year-old demon. All right, I want you to think for exactly 5 seconds about why she's a 700-year-old demon looking like child. And you're not going to tell me any other thing that was, well, they just needed some way to cover up that she looks like a tiny 9-year-old girl.
Boom.
There is no other reason. It does not need to be a tiny girl. I've seen plenty of 700-year-old demons who are of age. Let's be very real about that. I don't care that Japanese culture might be different, that the age of consent might be lower. This is America. We have standards, and we're not trying to be prude or Puritan here. But you gotta understand that you live in a different world. This is not Japan. You want that shit moved there. All right? This is public. We have upstanding, and like we said, we're trying to do what's best for the community. This is what's best for the community.
And this leads
Take it somewhere else.
So, and here's my thing here, and this is a very good point. When we started this channel, and time again, I personally received messages from fans. I have received messages on our channel, Facebook, from fans who said, and I've received comments from fans who have said time and time again that, like, man, what I really respect about you guys, one is that we tell it like it is, which we do. We always have, we always will. I respect you guys because you tell it like it is, and you're nice and whatever. But a lot of people were like, I don't get how are your family so supportive, and people are like, I want to get more into card games, but my parents won't let me, or something like that. They don't think it's a good community to be into. How did you guys divert this? Number one is there's a way to play card games and not do that shit. We do it! This man is wearing a tie. Like, not that card players don't wear ties. That's not what I'm saying. It's just perception is reality. And I want you to close your eyes and think about what a majority of people see in card players. Some people actually want card playing, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, all to be taken more seriously. Gaming wants the same thing, but when this lewdness is so perceptive,
and when you are the epitome, I want you to take a good hard look at yourself in the mirror. When you turn off your computer screen tonight and you see my face fade away from you in anger, look at yourself and ask yourself, are you the epitome of what everyone does not want this community to be, yet totally expects from it in general?
Exactly.
If you are, it's time for a change.
It is, man. Because, like, look, we talk about the lewd mat and the lewd sleeves. And, like, if it's an adult, like, that's one thing. And, like, yes, you have your out, but that's like pushing someone down the stairs and then saying they fell. You're just looking for an out to justify the act you did. It doesn't make it okay. And the thing is, like, in the privacy of your own home, if that out justifies it for you, so be it. Go on your merry way. I'm happy for you. That out justifies what you're doing. I'm not here to judge. That's up to you. That's your thing.
But not only are you doing something that is clearly laid out as an act or a style of life that is absolutely outright in most American societies, you're coming on a page of 10,000 plus people who, while some of you might agree with your right to do this, are also filled with kids, are filled with people who just want to play this game and get better, are filled with people like us who are not going to let you get away with it.
That's true.
That is as public as can be. This isn't the internet where you're anonymous. I know exactly who you are. I can look up your Facebook profile, your friends, your family, perhaps your phone number, your home address, whatever you decide to put on there.
That one anime fake, because everyone
has an anime fake photo. Yeah, you know what? Whatever. All right?
Not him.
You come out in public, in some place more public than a family card shop, than a tournament, than a nationals and a regionals, and you're asking me where you can, or the public in general, not anyone in particular who might know. Well, some people did give you answers. That's fine. I'm glad you got your question answered. Whatever. Congratulations. You get to have your deplorable little lifestyle all to yourself. Good job.
The thing is that
you're only hurting us
as a community. Perception is reality. And what is this community? Here's my one question. If you can give me a justifiable, good reason why the community benefits and needs that,
I'll go home right now.
I'll say fine. But for that reason, I can give you 10 reasons how we could be better off without that part of our culture entirely.
Because I'll tell you what, when people see me, and I attempt to be as respectable a card player as possible, I like to talk crap, but I also like to play card games.
This is also true.
I make gaming a central part of my life, and I think it's made me a better person in general. It's made me a stronger person, made me more calculating, made me more logical, made me less emotional.
Also more willing to accept defeat.
Also that, and that's a very important part of life. When I tell people that I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh!, that I play card games, that we have a card game YouTube channel, they think, well, Ryan's a pretty cool guy. He plays card games. Maybe there's something to it. I had my football, high school, typical jock quarterback friend come up to me and say, hey, Ryan, why do you like card games? And I say, they make me think. They're a good hobby. I get to hang out with friends. I got to study economics a little bit. It has a lot of things that make me fun. He says, I want a hobby that makes me think. Teach me that. You think if I pull out my deck and there's a bunch of anime titty women on it, and potentially some of them are even looking like they're 12 or under, you think he's going to stay in this community? You think he wants to be any less self-respecting than he already is? Congratulations. He doesn't. And he didn't. And when he walks into a card shop and sees exactly who he expects to be there, he was disappointed. Let me tell you what. It wasn't all Ryans. It was all people who just might bring a Dakimura in public. Yeah. And that's a little sad to me.
It is. We can do better. We can do better as a community to be more open, to be better, and to just. This does nothing but push people away. It doesn't bring anybody. At least it doesn't bring anybody we want in.
And it's one thing for the cards to be censored, overly censored in cases of Yu-Gi-Oh! But at some point, that's just splitting hairs and being puritanical. We're not trying to do that by any stretch of the imagination. These are not one and the same thing. Sleeves are optional. There are thousands of different options. Now, we're always going to say play the better card, unless the game makes it so bad that you just can't tolerate it, in which case, we've said our piece on that. Sleeves and mats are entirely optional pieces of equipment that you bring with you simply to protect your cards. That is their primary function. And anything else is aesthetic.
See, the deck that you play speaks to you to a certain extent of your level of competitiveness and just your level of desire to win, and to a certain extent just like your casual versus competitive nature. However, though, and I think Ryan joked about this the first ever time we played, either him and I personally or on the channel. I honestly can't remember, it's been so long. But while the deck is how you win, your mat, how you dress, what your sleeves are in, how your sleeves are conditioned, things like that, speaks to you as a card player and as an individual to a certain extent. It speaks about you. If your cards are grimy, your sleeves are grimy, there's new girls on your sleeves, there's a new girl on your mat, you tend to question. I don't judge, but I'm just like, what kind of guy is this?
I absolutely judge. 100%. Everyone does it. And they're judging you. And that's how it is. But that's not where our roast stops today.
That is not where
we have a second lovely piece to this.
That's our philosophical roast. This is the other side.
This is you're hurting the community, and also you're doing it knowingly. So while the first one is a personal choice, one I do not recommend making, and I have said my piece on it, the second one hurts the community as a whole at a central tenet of how our community operates. I'm talking about TCG player market manipulation. Whether or not on purpose or accidental, I refuse to believe it's accidental. You can't tell me otherwise. You're a terrible person. So, here's how it works. I, a collector, or a vendor, or just a personal me, say, I want to post a card on TCG Player. Okay, great. Am I trying to sell it? Doesn't matter. Apparently, doesn't matter. I say, I set my card price at this. It's double or triple the current price of the card. Some multiple, much higher than market value. Then, or perhaps after the fact, this card is sold out. There are no copies of it, and I now have the highest priced card there, but it's also one of a few only copies. There's maybe me and a few other vendors. We have priced our cards sometimes from the beginning before the buyouts happened at this high price. Because we now have the only ones who are unsold, market price goes up, the median price goes up, and so those are two of the more common measures of what happens, and people who are really desperate for the cards buy it from us. Did I intend to sell a card? I might have. Am I gouging prices? Absolutely I am. Do I have the right to do that? Yes I do. Of course I do. That's how TCG Player works. However, what you have to tell me is you're doing that on purpose. You can't tell me that you're manipulating the market on accident. The quote in question was, and of course, don't post TCG Player screenshots on Vanguardians. Ed doesn't like that unless he's trying to make a point.
Accurate.
Somebody posted pictures of what the hype prices of the newest set were. And certain SPs were going for between $150 and $250. Are they worth that much? Who knows? But am I setting a bad example by setting my price that way on TCG Player? Yes. Am I attempting to get money from this? Of course I am. But someone from one of these vendors said, oh, I don't do this on purpose. I like to put my cards up there so people know what I have. And you know what really grinds my gears? Exactly everything about that! Alright, so let me say, oh, it's not intentional that I'm manipulating the way a TCG Player works. I just want people to see what I have. That's like taking your cigarette butts and throwing them in your backyard just because you don't want them in your house. And when your neighbor comes up to you and says, hey, you know, this could start a fire, and you say, well, that wasn't my intention. See how bad that is, and see exactly how hypocritical that is? It's absolutely harmful to not only your own house, for example, but everyone around you. And that's the way a community works. You are held to certain expectations. You want to post your collection? Do it on that site we were sponsored by 2 years ago. Yes, that happened. Check that out. But don't tell me you didn't do it on purpose. We know you did it on purpose. Admit it. Admit that you just want to make a buck, because there's nothing really wrong with that. We know
You can respect someone who, I mean, I can understand a person who walks up and
says,
I want to make money. That's what I want. Like the people who posted pictures of them buying out all of a certain common they think is going to go up. Like, oh, look at all these I've got, I'm selling them. Like, that's clearly he's the one who did about it.
Works.
Like, that's what he did. Is that bad? Absolutely. And
we're not saying it isn't.
It is bad. But it's totally within his reason to do that. Now, here's the difference, okay? People complain about high prices. That's not what we're arguing. High prices exist. That's just something you have to live. It's just economics. It's supply and demand. This is different, though. This is intentional manipulation of prices. This is like stock gouging or whatever you want to think about it. It's a similar thing. He's taken something that is in scarce supply, and he has taken advantage. This is the best way to do this. He's taken advantage, because that's the only reason I'm here, because I'm the only one who can explain the economics behind this. He's taken advantage of a lack of information. Nobody knows what this card is worth because not enough trades have happened yet.
And market price only does so much.
The card has only just released. The only thing we have to go on is the pre-order price and then whatever trades get done. And because there's no giant stock exchange to see what somebody on that'd be great if someone ever created one, like what people traded for on TCG Player and stuff like that. Until we have if we ever had a big market like that, we would have a better idea of what cards are valued in any given moment. We don't though. All we have is TCG Player and Ideals prices at pre-release, at least at this juncture that I'm talking about in this story. I don't know when this is going to go up, but this particular set has just dropped. Not enough trades have been completed to truly get enough information where a consumer has the accurate knowledge to approach someone to understand the price of something. So what you've done is you've taken advantage of this person by saying your lack of information is now going to be my profit. Now, in a lot of places, this is an opportunity of arbitrage, and that's not what this is. An opportunity of arbitrage is just when there's an inequilibrium, but given everyone still has the information, it's just taking advantage of a short-term unbalance. It's like he talks to somebody who, for that second, he knew its general price range, but Ryan benefits a little bit from it, or vice versa. But you're taking advantage of he has no information, you have it all. And then you're justifying by saying, it's my personal copy, I really wasn't planning to sell it.
On a place specifically made for selling your things.
Exactly. So you're basically saying, like, if someone ever came up to me and offered me this extreme amount of money, which the minute you post it doesn't even sell. The minute you post it, because there is no sell information available to the rest of the people, the minute you post it, no matter what the price is, let's say the SP is worth $80. You post it for $150. That's a pretty broad example. Regardless of what the fact that it's valued, let's just say just for just example's sake, it is valued at around $80. You have bumped this card's price up a certain amount just because you even tried to. Because now you've given a bargaining chip to everyone else who wants to sell the card because you didn't mean to. Even if you don't sell it, you have caused a detriment to everyone else who is trying to buy this card.
Everyone.
By giving everyone trying to sell this card more ammunition and information
when it wasn't
that doesn't exist.
There.
It doesn't exist. The information doesn't exist. Why did you pick $160? Did you just pull that number out your ass?
Apparently.
Like, what spawned you to pick that number is the thing. It's like, no, you made it up on the spot because that's what you wanted, that's what you personally consider the card worth. But because there's no information, you've taken this monopoly and taken advantage of people. That's just wrong.
That's goddamn illegal in most places.
Well, not in this, but yes.
Well, not in this community, but keep in mind that if you were to do this in many other senses, people would come after you for it. And we know exactly who you are because you always show up on every single post like this. Goddamn if I can't go on a post and say, well, there's that guy. Oh, and there's that other guy too. And there's that third guy. Yep, I know what this is. Better not buy these cards.
100 people.
And then it all spirals out of control from there. So, we've already talked about buyouts. We've talked about a lot of things. But you're only adding fuel to this already burning fire that's hurting this community on the secondary market. We all just want to play card games. And you're just trying to make a buck. I can respect it. But you're just stealing from people for no reason and then saying, no, I'm not. Well, if you really just wanted to make a buck by stealing from our community members, I guess you really didn't have anything better to do while you wait for Boba Fett to bring a solo in the Wookiee. So that's been Team Absolution's Community Roast. See you later. Peace.